Hello and welcome to week 5 of the term, and this week we are doing some negative painting. Now I know everyone kind of really enjoyed that lesson last term, and so I thought let's kind of bring that in again this week for you to have another go at. So hopefully you've taken lots of photos of your garden over the summer, and you've got some photos to work from. If you haven't, obviously I've put together a little PDF of images as well from my garden and gardens of friends, and I've put all those pictures together so you've got some reference to work from. So this one is of a poppy. I think it's called I think it's called a fried egg poppy or something. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, it's beautiful, and I just thought I'd have a go at doing a white flower and see how that kind of works out. Okay, so I've drawn my image, and also just remember, just a recap about the negative painting. So you're painting everything but the object, so you're painting around things. So that first layer is about sort of creating a very sort of loose layer kind of underneath, and then we kind of build up over the top of that. So in terms of colours for this one, I am going to use a green gold. I'm going to use I've got quinacridone burnt orange, which is like your burnt sienna. I'm going to use a phthalo blue. And I'm also going to use French ultramarine, and I have also got my Windsor yellow, which is over here. Okay, so this will kind of give me my orange, sort of lighter shades, darker shades, and then I can use my yellow to mix with my blues to get sort of different shades of greens. And I've also got the green gold as an extra little kind of punch of colour, because it's such a lovely sort of vibrant green. And I think it'll do great in the background. Okay, let's get started with the painting. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually just wet the paper fully, because what I'd like to do is for the colours just to sort of mix very sort of naturally on the paper, and this just kind of helps to do that really. So I'm just wetting the paper. Okay, so actually, I know I said I was using the French ultramarine and the phthalo blue, but in this first initial layer, I thought I would use a little bit of cobalt turquoise, just to give a slightly different sort of blue feel to the underneath layer first. So I'm just going to drop my colours in and really just allow them to mix on the paper. Okay, so now that it's I've got my colour on, what I am going to do is actually just lift it up and just sort of move that colour around. Okay, so really that's all I can do for the first layer, and I'm going to allow that to fully dry on its own without any kind of interference with hair dryers or whatever, and just allow that to dry for however long it takes. So maybe sort of 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, so we'll see you back here in a bit. Okay, so that's had some time to dry, and you can see, the wash is really, really lovely. It's kind of dried in a lovely way. It feels like there's this kind of blue sort of darker streak here. Maybe the sun is coming here, and it seems to be getting a lot colder up here. So I've got lots to kind of play with in this picture. So the next thing to think about is whether I wanted to add any more flowers in at this stage, because obviously I've got white flowers, I have to think about that now rather than a little bit later on. So what I've also printed out is this lovely picture with lots of flowers in it. So what I can do is kind of take some of the flowers from here and perhaps redraw them in the background to create a little bit more of a kind of sort of fuller picture with more flowers in it. So I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and do next. I'll kind of stop the video and you can join me again once I've drawn them in. Okay, so I've drawn one flower here, I've drawn another one kind of going off the page here, and then I've got another one sort of coming here. So, you know, three sides of the painting, I've got kind of flowers sort of potentially sort of kind of meeting the edge in a sense. Okay. So now that I've done that, I can now start thinking about my background. And again, I've gotten the opportunity of working sort of fairly loose still, but really sort of pulling some of those flowers out and thinking about the areas that I want to stay more kind of, you know, lighter really, I suppose. So let's bring all these pictures. So I've got my pictures out here in front of me so that I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to start off with the centre bit and kind of work my way out. And again, I want to sort of try and remain very much kind of wet into wet. So I'll be dropping, you know, once I've got enough paint on here, I would like to then start dropping other colours in. Okay, so once again, I will allow that to dry out and then come back and we'll start building our layers up. So we've done one layer, we've done a second layer, so maybe we'll do about sort of 4 layers in total and see, you know, see how that, you know, how far we get with that. Okay, so let that dry and we'll see you in a bit. Okay, so that's now nice and dry and I can get on and start pulling out some of these kind of leaves and things like that. So the next thing is to sort of then start working in the background. So once again, you can decide whether you want to add more leaves and things in. At this stage, I think I probably won't. I will just start building up around some of the the lower kind of leaves and things and kind of take it from there really. So as I'm kind of working into this next layer, I keep changing the colour as I'm kind of going along. So I'm not just using one colour all the time. I'm just going to keep changing it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that again to dry, and then we'll come back in and do another layer. Okay, so that's now nice and dry, and what I'm going to do now is kind of draw some more leaves and things in the background, just to sort of create a little bit more interest. So I'm going to go ahead and do that just with a pencil, as a kind of little guide for me, so that I kind of know what I'm doing when I'm painting this next kind of layer. Okay, so I'm going to stop there and let that layer dry, and then I think I'm going to do one more layer of leaves kind of in the background, and then I'll start working on the flowers. Okay, so that's now dry, and I'm going to do one more layer of leaves in the background. This time I'm not going to draw them in, I'm just going to go for it and kind of hope for the best. So So the leaves and the background and the bulbs are all kind of, sorry, the buds, not the bulbs. They're all kind of pretty much there. So now I need to start working into the flower itself. So I'm going to drop down to a smaller brush and let's get started. Okay, so I think that's now done and finished. I've kind of, that was my original picture, and you can see I've kind of put a lot more kind of leaves and sort of things in the background just to kind of make it a little bit more interesting. So have a go. Just remember the lesson that we did last term where we were doing those leaves, where we were kind of starting off with that very loose layer and then building up the leaves as we went on. And so that's exactly how I've done that, and then just done the flowers like right at the end. Okay, I look forward to seeing what you do this week. Enjoy it.